Y'all know what that means, right? Truck is finally fixed, and it's time to make some baits. But not just any baits. Oh, no, 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 no. Yes, indeed, it is time to create from scratch a bladed jig. Why a bladed jig, you may ask? Well, it has everything to do with this beauty right here. This is the brand new 4.4 Epic Bait Molds Shatter Bait. It is a shad style trailer designed for a chatterbait. He's got these little flanges on the back tail where it's not a big boot tail, where it's going to be interacting with the front blade and causing all kinds of problems. It's just enough to give that little shimmy, and let me just tell you, it looks phenomenal. We got some pretty cool colors to talk about. More on that later as we think about what our trailer colors are going to be. One quick note, the very next video is going to be a bit of a special one. So I am working on a brand new kind of aspect to the channel. We just crossed over 8,000 subscribers. Kind of back to back on the giveaway thing here, but iCast, the 8,000 sub timing and all of this stuff, it just correlated. This time though, I'm going to give an entire bait tray, 4,700 Plano box bait tray away of all SDG baits. So if you want to get in on that giveaway, be sure to check out that next video. All right, enough yapping. Let's pour some lead. And here we find ourselves at the vise, finished product in hand here. You see I added some 3D eyes, 3/16 size. These are gold. Also added a collar to the middle here because we are going to add 2 rattles to this guy. We will be tying up with 210 denier single strand floss. Not what you expect, I imagine. I usually use 210 denier flat wax nylon, and idiot me got on eBay looking for some colors that Barlow's didn't have. I saw 210 denier and thought it was the same thing. I bought a bunch. I've used it a little bit. It seems plenty strong. Doesn't have that wax, so maybe it doesn't grab quite as well, but the first thing we're gonna do is lay down a thread base back here on the hook shank, because our collar, our rattle collar, takes up the space that would normally hold the soft plastic. So we actually need to add a wire keeper to this. That is one that I just made out of 035 wire, bent it. I like this approach as opposed to the do-it wire keepers that you can buy and just nip off. Those are great for smaller jig heads that have smaller plastics that are going to go on it, but this trailer in particular is that shad profile, and it's very tall like a shad, so I want something that's going to go a little bit deeper, further up into the nose and really hold it into place. So I made this one a little bit taller. So we'll tie that in. Pretty simple. There. And once I get back to here, instead of just going back and tying it down, I'll actually go behind it and create a little thread dam right here and that'll help it from sliding down the hook shank. So build that guy up. And we're gonna whip finish right here and actually cut this off. 2, 3, 4. Whip finish right there. See, I mean, I was yanking on that guy pretty good. I mean, I pulled on it hard enough to break it, and you know, for me and my memory anyhow, I think it broke right around the same time as 210 denier flat wax nylon. So who knows? Maybe I found something cool. Water-based head cement on that to lock it down. Always a good idea. There we go. And now get that same thread and let's start building our main collar here. Put a thread base down so we can add our silicone. All right, so we are going with Bob to our new favorite location, and I have fished a bladed jig there before, and needless to say, I had some fun. They're going to gravitate more towards a natural presentation, the greens, the browns, bluegillish type deal. There's no shad in these waters, but that doesn't mean that we can't use a shad profile. Nice and tall can mimic a bluegill just as well as a shad. So we are going to do that. A nice lighter color belly though. This guy, let me show you. One of my favorite striped silicone. Can you see the blue shimmer? See that? And it's got this silver in it. It is so nice. It is called, it's from Barlow's, 245 Pearl Pepper Silver Gray. Absolutely love it. You could actually make an entire jig, swim jig, bladed jig, whatever you want, out of just this. Like 2 strands, 2 tabs of this on a jig head would be dynamite. But we're going to use half a tab as our belly. So let's get that guy on there. Nice loose wraps. We'll get it measured. Make sure it's, you know, in the ballpark. Doesn't need to be exact. This one's a little long, so we'll pull it back. Jeez, can you see that little blue iridescence right there? I do love it. It's like monkey milk in a silicone. Whew. Couple of wraps just to tighten it a hair so we can move it around and it won't slide too bad on us. We only want this to cover the very bottom. Yeah, most of the body here is going to be our top tabs. So that looks good right there. So let's go ahead and hold that, squeeze it, pinch it, and then pull down. That just keeps it from rolling too bad on you. Flip her over, and now we're going to Nature's Edge Green Pumpkin. Pretty standard color. This is going to be the first one on the top, so when it flips over, this is going to be the predominant color on the top. We're going to add an accent color underneath of it that will be, as you flip it, it'll be underneath and kind of give it some variation. So there we go. Measure that out. I have, yep, looks good. And we'll spread this guy around. Want full coverage all the way down to our belly. Beautiful. I'm actually going to take some hair clips, mini hair clips. Get those at Walmart. I've been asked that many times. Go over to the hair section and you will find all sorts of hair clip sizes, including those mini ones. Perfect for this kind of application, or even holding bucktail back, or just about anything. Our accent color on the top. This is another one of the striped silicones, just like from the belly color. This is a number 241, black, brown, and amber multi-glitter. Really awesome one too. There we go. Half a tab of that just to give a little accent to the jig. So that would make 2 tabs total in the skirt half in the belly, half with this one, and then that full tab of Nature's Edge. Green pumpkin. That looks good. Pinch and pull, just like before. Yeah. All right, so let's take our hair clip off and bound that together so we can keep all this from getting unruly. There we go. Now let's go ahead and build this thread collar up just a bit, because we need a platform for the last element that we're going to add. Yeah, that looks good. And that last element is holographic copper flashaboo. See that? So I'm going to pull out 4 strands of this, find the middle, turn this on its side, and that middle where I had it is going to go right on our thread collar. And I'm going to keep the thread closer to the back where of the collar, because I'm going to trap that coming diagonal from the back forward. Maybe a little bit more anal, a little bit more detailed than I need to be, but I've made a lot of these over my years, and I find that that is a good way to keep from stuff getting bunched up and all nasty. Now I'm just spreading it out a bit, pulling it around, spreading it out. And let's go ahead and unclip once again. Grab all of that. And clip it in. There we go. And now we have a clean surface that we can finish this tie. Whip finish. 2, 3, 4. Of course, whip finish by hand makes that a lot easier. So I can. All right, once again, water-based head cement. Cement those guys down there, especially where I cut it. I just saw that tag in, so cement that right down to the rest. And now we just need to cut our tabs. And there she is. The back end got a little short on me. I worked with that, and then I guess I should have worked on it a little bit longer. See how they're uneven right there? But I like the length, and you know, the jaggediness. It can kind of work sometimes, so I'm gonna leave it. The only thing left for this guy is the blade. Actually, we got to do the blade, and we got to do the rattles. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the rattles in real quick. There you go. That's what those look like. Our bait keeper is right behind it. So as the bait comes in, these 2 rattles will actually separate like that, and the bait will be right in between of them, held on by our keeper. All right, now blade. So I've got some blades. Again, got them from Barlow's, standard size. I have painted these before, and it's worked out pretty well. It can be a little bit interesting because it needs to hang via that hole in the oven, and sometimes you get just the tiniest little bit of sag, and now I got this bend in it, and I thought maybe there's something else, and I saw these on Barlow's, and I picked up all the colors because that's what I do. Holographic stickers that go on your blade bait. How cool is that? All these different blue, I don't need to tell you the colors, you guys can see the colors, but there's a bunch of them, and we are going to use not one of those, but one of these. That's a black one, holographic black, super freaking cool. So let me pull this guy out. Let me put it on this blade and show you the end result. Check that out. Isn't that cool? Oh yeah, and on the inside too. Got it on both sides. Oh, I think that's going to be cool. Super easy to apply, and I noticed too, you just peel them off, right? I messed one up when I was experimenting with this, and I thought, oh my gosh, is it one of those things where the glue on the back of this is like totally unforgiving, so I just ruined a blade. And I peeled it off pretty easily and was able to restick it in its rightful place. So I'm grateful that that was the case, because that meant I didn't waste a blade. But it makes me nervous that with all the gyrations and the whatnots and the fish catches, that we may lose this. The sticker may not hold up to the abuse. Final product, there she is. Love the combination of everything, nice and natural, but still, I don't know, flashy and baity and all kinds of good stuff. The trailer's only gonna make it better. Come on. All right, well, the lead is poured, the head is painted, the eyes are on, the skirt is looking wonderful with that flash. We got our rattles, we've got our special blade treatment. Only thing left to do is shoot some pretty sweet trailers. So I keep talking about these special colors, right? Stuff that I'm hoping will pick up some of the highlights in our skirt color. Remember that? Well, let me explain a little bit further. You are looking at the newest, or at least the latest, Alpha Pigments affiliate. So check this out. All of the Alpha Pigments, this is their sampler pack. If you're not familiar with Alpha Pigments, and you do know Chris Jones over at World's Worst Fishing, most people do, you've seen him use things from Dip Your Car. Well, Alpha Pigments is another company just like that. Dip Your Car, Alpha Pigments, they all actually paint vehicles with this stuff, but it works beautifully in soft plastics. So I'm pumped to be a part of the program over there. If you like what you see and you want to get some, feel free to go to the website. I'll drop a link down below, and you can use SDG10. It does two things. It helps me out at the channel. I get a little portion of the proceeds, and it helps me get more stuff like this and molds and materials and all kinds of cool stuff so I can keep making videos. But it also gives you 10% off. So you can actually save on your own order 10% off by using SDG10. So I'm pretty pumped. Today we are going to use two of them. I have picked out Tsunami Super Color Shift Alpha Pearl, and I have picked out Xenon, Xenon Alpha Pearl. So not everything that they make is the super crazy hyper color shift stuff. That's the really high-end, more expensive stuff that you can get. But they also have a whole line of regular pearls. They have super flakes, they have subtle pearls, they have holographic stuff. So anyway, lots to play with. Enough of that. Let's get into actually building the color. Let me get this first one warmed up. All right, we are all ready to rock and roll, well up over 350. I think what we're gonna do first is the top color, which again is gonna be this Tsunami Super Color Shift Alpha Pearl. I don't think it's going to take much, and because this is a pearl, not the Tsunami Super Flake, which they also have. The Super Flake is just what it sounds like. It's gonna add flake, really, really fine powder as I understand it. But this should add color on its own, just like a normal pearl powder. I think we'll probably end up spiking it, because all of these color shifts tend to do a little bit better when you add a little bit of black or a little bit of some other dark color. It kind of brings them out, right? Shows some of the shiftiness, if you will. So I'm going to go in here and grab 1/8 of a teaspoon or 1 cup of this Bait Plastics 242, and let's just start with that. Yeah, all right, cool. Oh man, you can see now why I wanted to use the skirt colors that we used. So that's showing up on the camera. I can see it as more yellow, but in where I am, you know, in person, that's like a copperish brown kind of deal. Very cool. And of course the green comes through, which is going to pick up the green in that skirt, hopefully, right? Very, very nice. Do we want to add anything to this? Yeah, I think I do. I had planned, since we have that green pumpkin skirt, I'd actually planned to spike it not with black, but with some green pumpkin. So, I don't know. Let's find out what it does if I do that. I don't want to overdo it though. So let's go with like 3 drops. Like if I was going to do black, I'd probably do 3 drops. So let's do with 3 drops. 1, 2, 3. Anything at all? Oh yeah, it did get a little bit richer, a little darker, a little richer. Alright, cool. Tell you what, let's get crazy. Watermelon, no. I'm gonna grab the black. Haven't shaken it, shook it, shaken. It's not ready yet, give me a second. Let's do 2 drops of this. So that'd be 5 drops of pigment total. 1, 2. Wow. It definitely looks saturated. On the knife, I can kind of see through. Boy, the shiftiness though is fantastic. I wish on this camera it was coming through like it is in person, but what else is new with this stuff? Everybody says that, oh, you just can't appreciate it unless you're in person. Well, to a certain degree, that is true. Should we add some flake? Nah. So this has got the green pumpkin has got black flecks in it, right? That's the nature's edge. I feel like we should do that too. So I don't do this often, but only one size black. I went to the medium. You guys know I'm usually going to pull out the large and the small to give it a little bit of dichotomy, a little texture, you know, over and above. But I don't want to overdo it, so I just grabbed medium black just to give it a little bit, yeah, just to give it a little bit of pepper. Second cup ready to rock and roll. This one is going to be more of a white belly, but I was trying to find something that looked like it had some iridescence, a little bit of flavor, if you will. Don't know if it's going to have blue. This one looks like it might be bluish purple as I kind of turn this around in my hand. This one has that blue iridescence, but you know, bluish, purple, violet, light blue, it kind of all works together. So this is again the Xenon Alpha Pearl. So this one is not a hyper shift. This is just one of the regular pearls. We might need to back it. We might not. I don't know. I've got some silk pearl out just in case we need to back it with something. But we're going to try it with 1/8 of a teaspoon, just like we did the other. Yeah. So there's definitely some violet. You guys see that? Let's see. Ooh, okay. Yeah. Reminds me of MF iridescent pearl in the pigment, but a lot stronger, right? Like if you just dump trucked a bunch of that stuff into a cup, that's kind of what you would get. Definitely more see-through, so I don't want to add more of that. Let's actually add a little bit more white to it with, again, silk pearl. So this is Lurecraft silk pearl. 1/16 of a teaspoon should be more than enough. That's actually a little bit less than 1/16. Yeah. Grab all of that. I think that's going to work, guys. All right, both of these are right around 325. The back color, so our top color is on the left, so I've got that on the left with our white-ish belly on the right. First shot in the new Shatterbait. So freaking excited about this bait. There's one. I'm going to skip the top, or skip the next one, go to the last one. There we go, and then come back Sometimes that helps, so you don't clog up that first one quite as bad. But we're gonna poke those to begin with, or regardless rather, not to begin with, but we're gonna poke those to make sure that the plastisol can get down inside. I do know that that Jason designed that sprue, the top of the sprue, a little bit longer, so this theoretically isn't necessary, but I always do it when I've got these multi-port molds where the ports are right next to each other and you can kind of seal it off. Causes problems, denting in the nose, things like that. We are cooled off, we are ready to roll. Hopefully you guys are excited to see this as I am. First shot ever. Well, that reminds me, we will go through the hook slot insert here in a minute. Oh, snap. Holy snot. Whoa. On like so many levels. Whoa. Holy moly. Wow. That worked. Okay, first of all, yes, that let's talk about the mold here for a second. So this has reversible hook slots. So this is, the chatterbait is obviously designed to be a chatterbait trailer, but you can fish it as a swim bait as well. So if you are around shad, this is an absolute freaking dynamite killer mold. You gotta get it, right? Because it looks just like a shad. The tail has got those two little flanges on the end. You see that? That is on purpose. Not only because of the chatterbait, you don't want all that interference like we were talking about before, but it's a shad. Shad don't swim through the water going nuts, right? They have the little shimmies. There's 1,000 boot tails that smack and whack all over the place. This is designed to be something different, and I think that is cool. So if you want to shoot this as a swim bait, you would just take this insert and you'd flip it just like that. So now you've got a belly, a hook slot rather, in the belly, and you're good to go. We shot all of these knowing that they were going to be trailers on a bladed jig. We shot them like that so that we can have a full solid body. Sweet mold, very sweet mold. Jason knocked it out of the park with this one. Now let's look at these colors. Holy moly, guys. Look at how it changes. This is the color shift, right? The Alpha Pigments in that tsunami. Look at the green. See this green right here? Then into the brown and the, oh my lands, it looks freaking good. And that purple in the belly too, that iridescence. Oh, I mean, I'm a sucker for natural. You guys know I'm a sucker for natural. I just love it. So anytime I can find something that gives me a new perspective or a new way to get to a really crazy, cool, natural color, I mean, shut up. So I will be shooting at least one more round of these because they're amazing. But in the meantime, I have our jig. Let's go ahead and thread one of these guys on and see the final product. Oh, look at this. Let me give you a better. Look at that. Holy schlamoli. Look at that guy going through the freaking water. Huh? That holographic, this tail and doing his thing. All this, the shaky with the rat. Oh my lands. It's so good. The wind is blowing. We have made it. Bob and I are at our fishing location. My new favorite little happy place in all of the world. Let me tell you a little bit more about it because I only gave you a sneak peek the last time we were here. Hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad. Behind me, you can see right here, that is the first of 3 lakes. It is the biggest one, or lakes, ponds. Then I got this one right here. That's the middle one. It's a little bit smaller. And then all the way over there is where we did our fishing the first time, where I caught that near 4-pounder, 3 pounds, 15 ounces. It was 4 pounds, people, come on. It's a precious place to me. I have been given access to it. It's private property, and I am super psyched to be here. So I want to protect their privacy. I don't want to get into who owns it and where it is and all that other stuff, just out of respect for them. So here's what we're gonna call it. The one over here is what we're gonna be on today. That's the biggest one. We're calling that one the King. The middle one, we're gonna call the Queen. I haven't quite figured her out yet, which, isn't that just appropriate, right? Ladies are kind of hard to figure out. And then the other one, way over yonder, where we did our original fishing, that one is next to the woods. It's got all those laydowns in it. It's got kind of a quirky little shape to it, so that one we're calling the Joker. So the King, the Queen, and the Joker, we are going to enjoy all of this water over our tenure here on the channel. All right, with that said, let us explore the King together. So as much as I have fished the King, I believe right over here by this tree, right out from that, a good 50 yards, right out into the middle, I'm pretty sure it is shallow grass. And ripping a bladed jig right across that grass. When I say shallow, I'm talking like 3 feet or less. So as soon as it hits the water, by the way, there she is. Oh, looking so good. As soon as it hits the water, I start reeling, and yeah, they eat it. So hopefully today is another one of those days. Let's give this guy a chuck and see what happens. First cast. Okay, well, first cast was a giant bird's nest. What a disaster. Oh my gosh. Let's try that again. First cast. Feels good. I don't feel like getting hung up on any grass. That's good. Should be ticking right along the tops. There's one. Oh, it feels like a good one too. Oh, he's turning the boat. Yeah, there's a good one. Yeah, come on up here. Yeah. Shatterbait, baby. Looky there. Nice. He's no giant, but we'll take him. That's a good first one, huh? Huh? Had to have the old shatterbait. Man, you gotta love it when they turn the boat. Whew. He wasn't huge, but he put up a good fight. Let's slow this retrieve down just a little. I start getting, oh, what the heck was that? Something just, I think I just hit a turtle. Maybe a carp? What the crap? Felt like I ran over a stump, but I was just sitting here. Like the stump ran over me. Maybe they got jaws out here in the King. Let's go over here and a little closer to shore. Had some good luck over here, and it's a little bit shallower too. So, tried over here a bit. There's one. Oh, he had it and he let it go. He bit me 3 times. Thought he finally had it. Just trying to let him eat it. There's one right there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he took off running with it. Yes. Come on now. Not huge, but respectable. It's one of my favorite things about fishing a bladed jig. When you feel that blade disengage, you know you got yourself either hung up or a bite. You just got instant feedback on what your bait's doing, where it is, how it is. I love fishing this bait. That was a weird bite. That was a weird bite. Oh, that was a unique one. I don't know that he ever had the hook. I think he was holding on to the butt end of that chatterbait the whole time. That was crazy. There's one. Oh yeah. Can we get you without a net? Come here. Oh, that was graceful. There we go. Smaller one, no net required. Still a joy to have in the boat. It's like they hit it so fast after it hits the water that I don't even feel the blade engage. So I can't tell if I'm on junk or if a fish has it. When in doubt, swing. There's one. Oh, he came running at me. Oh, whoa, whoa. Okay, all right, he grew up. Holy moly. Ah, what a psychopath. That's a better one, boys. We may be weighing this one. I don't think he's pushing 3, but that's definitely a better one. Holy moly. Yes. Right in the roof. Yep. Probably 2 3/4, something like that. Cool beans. I know I was going to say we were going to weigh them, but changed my mind. I think they're digging the chatterbait, guys. Oh, what a trailer. What a trailer. There we go. Oh, come on. Oh, man. Oh, that's a decent one. Oh, he's fighting like a beast. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Come on. Get him. Oh. I could tell, if you could tell me, from pumping that hook set, I could tell I didn't get a good hook set in him. That was a 3-pounder. He had the size to be a 3. Son of a gun. Let's try the net in a new position. Still figuring out the kayak deal. That net, reaching back for it, has cost me 2 fish now. That last one was a good one. So I'm gonna try it from there. Oh. No, he took off running with it. Oh, man. Get in here. Get in here. Oh, I'm such an amateur. All I could see is it flying off like the buddies. Not huge, but again, fun. Grabbed it and ran for his ever-loving life. I've been eyeing a spot that I want to go try. Let's go over there, and I want to parallel this rocky section over here that leads to bushes. It just looks like it's gonna have a bass on it, or 2, or 7. There we go. Yeah, right here. Something just jumped right beside that rock. Yep. Oh, shoot. Oh, man. Oh, he's an angry one. Come on, come on, come on, Adam. Get the daggone net out. Oh, it's stuck on the rod. What a freaking disaster. Did y'all know this was a comedy channel? Biggest fish of the day, too. Golly. Oh, and there he goes. He's gonna flip out of the tank boat. Give me a second. Oh, what a disaster. How did I get this fish in? Please tell me. Tell me how I got this fish in. Right at 3 pounds. 2 ounces shy of 3-pounder. What an experience. Thanks for biting, big guy. Man, alive. It's probably 4 feet from the bank, or from the boat rather. Went ballistic. Stupid net. Well, you guys saw. I don't need to recap it. Okay. Well, that worked out. That's a good problem to have, right? Bass thumb. I even got bass finger. Man alive. What an afternoon. That was a ton of fun. I actually brought another bait with me. After I turned the camera off, I went and fished it a bit, caught more fish, then went back to the chatterbait and proceeded to catch another, golly, 4 or 5 at least off camera. So many fish. I'm telling you, if you make soft plastics and you enjoy fishing a chatterbait, bladed jig, do yourself a favor and take a nice, long, hard look at the Epic Bait Molds chatterbait. I'm pretty sure you won't be disappointed. I did beat the storm home, but it is really close to coming. I haven't got Bob off the truck yet, so I need to go do that. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to tune in to the next video. It's gonna be a special one. And until the next time, I'll see you guys in the shop.